It's good to be back. I'm just going to wait for people to come in. I'm going to go and close the door until I get sorted. So today, Maisie Moo, my daughter, she said she wants to go to sleep in the next room. I think she's lying. I think she actually just wants to do something that's out of the ordinary, as children do, but we'll see what happens. She's in there, she's watching something. We don't normally let her have a screen, but she's watching something, and I think she's watching Encanto, or maybe a Baby Shark or something, I can't remember. But she's trying to get herself to sleep, which would be a big deal if she could do that. Not that we'd let her watch TV to get to sleep. I love reading her a bedtime story. It's one of my favourite things, as long as it's not a boring story. Let me just get on YouTube, youtube.com, find myself, and then I can see your lovely comments. Beyond, when I'm typing beyond stamping, it always tries to get me to type in Beyonce, but that wouldn't work. I'd just be watching Beyonce videos whilst. Oh, there I am, and I'm live. Turn the sound off so I can't hear my nasally tones, and there we go. Right, so let's see who we got. There's quite a lot of people watching already. Hello, Hugh. Always the first one here. We've got Belinda. Hi, Belinda. Hi, Hugh. Hi, Carol Guy from Wisconsin. Karen Morris. Hello. Trudy B. Angie B. All the B's. Anxar, hello. Lindsay, we've got Jane Luby, Jill Baxter, Jean Lindley, Charlie Bull. Oh, Charlie's watching. Charlie is an old friend of mine from my Sizzix days. And actually, Charlie hasn't replied to the last meme that I sent him on Instagram, so we won't talk to Charlie. Hi, we've got Lindsay, Mama X from Chicago, Ali Rossiter, and Anxar. Right, so everyone probably heard about what happened in Frankfurt at Creative World. Basically, we got robbed because. So what happened was, I think I'm new to this. I'm new to B2B, selling to businesses and trade things and that. And I'm learning as I go. I've been to Creative World before when I was with Sizzix, so I knew a bit about it, but what I didn't know was if you leave, even though it finished, if you leave your stuff on your stand, basically, people will just come and take it. And I didn't know that. But so when it had finished, my friend Tom, who came with me, we went to the hotel, which was only 10 minutes away, to get our stuff, our suitcases, to pack away the stand, basically. When we got back, everything that I had left had gone. Now that included my framed bits from the wall, all my samples, all my die cut bits, a Sizzix Sidekick machine, all of my business contacts. So they'd gone in my little pouch, which is like, I feel like it's like a wallet, and got all my business contacts out there. Just loads of stuff. Luckily, one of the things that they left was a little illustration that I did of Susie and I, which was in the early days when the stamps were quite new, and I love that. It's very sentimental to us, so it was very kind of the thieves to leave that for us, so thank you very much. Anyway, you live and you learn, so the next time I do it is it's going to be Yeah, I'm going to get bouncers on the door on my stand so that I can go wherever I want. Anyway, onwards and upwards. If we're not considering that, or even considering that, Frankfurt was amazing, because what I found was, and it was what you all told me would happen, which is that the response to Beyond Stamping and to Josh Griffith's studio in general, the dies, the stamps, the concept of everything working together and having the modular nature so that you become the artist and you build it all up yourself, that was new to people, and people were so into it. It was like, the main comment was, finally something new, and like just made me really, really proud. It was amazing. So loads and loads and loads of great things came from Frankfurt. Basically, Josh Griffith's studio, the company. I normally say Beyond Stamping, but it's not just stamps now, is it? It's dies as well. It's going a bit more global. There's a lot of stores in the US and Europe who want to sell. And we are in the process now of deciding what is right for us, because we want to make sure that, we protect ourselves and that we don't, I don't get too big ahead and go in, just being like, oh, like, I don't know, taking me foot off the gas, essentially. But anyway, so it was amazing. It was magical. It was really, really great thing for the business, because the interest in it was more than I ever thought it would be. So it was great. We've come a long way now, and most people watching here, I mean, let me know if you met me at Frankfurt. But a lot of the original sort of Beyond Stampers on here, you've been here from the start, and you are the people who supported me. You are the ones who've got all of the original sets, and I'm just incredibly thankful to you all, because you've built this business up with me. You're not having any of my money though, so don't be getting ideas, okay? That was a joke, by the way. I see I am getting arrogant. So let's have a look. Who have we got in? So Hugh says shocking behaviour. So it's that, I don't know whether it's sort of common practice there. So I don't know whether the people responsible were sort of thieves, as it were, or if it was just a sort of, people were like, I don't know, this is the done thing. He's not in the stand, so everybody knows that every year that people come along and take bits, but I don't know. But what it did mean was that yesterday, so we are going to look at the dies in a sec. We've already been online 8 minutes. We've not done anything. I'm going to talk you through the dies. But when I was prepping Hobby Maker yesterday, or the day before, or whenever I was on Hobby Maker, I didn't have any samples to work with, so it took me away, Anyway, it took me away from the girls and Susie's. I had to spend that day before just creating as many die cuts as possible. So let's have a look at them. Let's have a look at the dies. Now, I'm going to do less of a making thing today, but more of an in-depth look at the dies. I will look at the dies, but let me have a quick look at the comments first. So, who have we got? So, happy hump day from Jeff Langley. Hi, Jeff. Rachel. Rachel says she and Susie should have gone. You should. Well, maybe next year, Rachel, because we're going to be going back next year, likely. Although I feel like we came away with so many amazing contacts that it was I don't know if we need to go again. Maybe we will. So it's actually weird you're called Beyond Stamping, but you're really only sold you really only sold stamps. Yeah, that's it. So I only sold stamps then. We're not Beyond Stamping, we're Josh Griffith's studio. But Beyond Stamping is just the brand of our stamps. Denzel's watching. So Denzel is a new friend of mine who I met over at Creative World in Frankfurt, who is very, very high up at Spellbinders. So everybody say hello to Denzel. We've got Jill Baxter. Charlie said, yeah, but have you hit 14 in a row yet? What Charlie's talking about there. So I'm going to get us all prepped while I'm telling you this, so I'm not just this is not this is not a podcast about my life. This is about crafting. But I'll tell you. So let me just angle you down here. Do I need to be plugged in? Probably. I'll angle us down, and then. So Charlie says, "Have I hit 14 in a row yet?" And the answer is no, that I haven't. What he's talking about is the fact that both Charlie and I are into basketball. Although Charlie's much better at basketball than I am. Oh, sorry, I haven't got anything. It's just my dusty desk here because I haven't got anything. It's all packed from the Hobby Maker show, but we'll manage, won't we? Charlie, as I said, is a friend of mine, good friend of mine, my best friend at Sizzix, and he is very good at basketball. I've got a full-size basketball hoop in my garden. Well, I did. And Charlie hit 14 three-pointers in a row. And as he was doing, as Charlie was doing these 14 three-pointers, for anyone who's not familiar with basketball, that's like pretty much, I mean, that's sort of pro level. And Susie just came in the drive as he was doing it. So not only did he emasculate me completely and make Susie realise that actually there were cooler people out there, he also sort of defied the odds of basketball altogether. And hit 14 three-pointers in a row. And Denzel will know more. Denzel's from the US. And our other US friends like Mama X and Carol Guy. Basketball's very much a sort of, it's a bit more American than it is UK. But that's like pro level. Right, let me move these along this way so that everyone can see them. So here are our die sets. Now, this moving into the world of die cutting was something I'm incredibly passionate about it, but I wanted to do it in my own way, sort of as per usual. I'm a bit stubborn, so there had to be die sets with a twist, and the twist is that they're somewhere between traditional die cutting, card making, and illustration. So they're called paper shape illustrations. Angle it this way a little bit, and they're called that because, well, that's what they are. They are proper illustrations. I think in my mind, you would see this kind of artwork in, like a children's book. I just think it's hard for me to talk about them. As you know, I'm not an arrogant person, but I am so proud of these that it's hard for me not to get a bit of a big head. Let me get my set out, because what I want to do is I'm going to talk through every piece with you. So I've got the sets here. Now, forgive me, there may be one or two bits in the other set because I used them on Hobby Maker, and again, they are interchangeable in certain ways. For instance, this lady, she's got one of the men's heads so that she could be facing the other way. Now, let's take the women's set first. So that's this set here. Now, what is every part? Let's talk about it in depth. Make sure you can see it. Now, I can see a few questions here. I'm going to get round to them. So let me just answer the one that I can see here. Here we go. So it's the one I can see, Josh. So it's from Kazi74. Josh, why do you prefer to do the ladies' legs in 2 different pink? Would it be better a bit of light grey, either watercolour or marker? Do you mean to separate the legs? Because that is something you can do. Again, I've not included any impressions in the stamps like debossing or embossing to guide people where to put anything, because I want them to be fully adaptable. So we're going to look at that now. But the reason I've done that is because I like to do things by layering. So I'm distinguishing the 2 different legs by layering. One of them I do slightly different colour. The reason for that is it separates them, you're right. So it makes it so that you can tell that's one leg and that's the other. This one is sort of in shadow and this one has got the light hitting it. So that's why one's a bit darker than the other. But you don't have to do it that way. Just layering them with, you know, to sort of 216 cardstock or something a bit thicker than paper will give you the definition that you need to be able to distinguish that they're 2 different legs. But it's just a stylistic choice on my part, really. Let's have a look. So Mother Goose Makery, that is our friend Hannah. I need big curly hair making, please help. The women all seem to have straight hair. Now, you can use the men's hair with the women as well. I'll have a look at doing this. As of yet, we don't have big curly hair, but it's the same as with our stamp sets. New sets are going to be coming out all the time that breathe new life into these sets. So, you know, you will be able to have sort of different body positions, different facial features, different hairstyles, different types of clothes like long dresses. So this is the foundational set to get you going with these. And let's talk them through now. So let's have a look. This is the women's set. What is each piece? Let's really go into depth here. As I say, this one's going to be less about me doing a make from start to finish and more about talking about the die sets, because that's what people wanted when Susie asked in the group earlier. This, obviously, that's the main body base. But the thing with this is having that body base and being able to build the clothes over it. Essentially, it is sort of a naked body underneath. So what that means is, in the same way as with the stamps, you can draw a line to differentiate if someone's wearing a vest, or, you know, one line can mean a sleeve. So then a jumper becomes a t-shirt, and you know, you do a V for a V-neck. It's the same with these, but it's a scissor cut rather than that single line drawing. So it's a way of making them adaptable. So there we are. That's the main bit there. I'm trying to think. So obviously we've got the jumper. Now the jumper can be snipped down into a vest, a t-shirt, whatever you like. All of these women, let me get all the women, all the ladies together here, and then we'll talk about the different bits. So as you can see, it was a snip there, and because we've got the base element, she has her arm underneath already, and that means that one snip turns this jumper into a t-shirt or a sweater if you're over in the US. A jumper in the UK is a long sleeved, anything long sleeve really. You can get a thin long sleeve t-shirt, but I pretty much I still call it a jumper. So that's that element, the t-shirt element. Over here you can see that I've done a wider neck, and I snipped off the arms higher up, which has exposed the shoulder and the arm. And there is another arm element. None of these women have got it. I don't know why I've not put it on them, but I'll show you. So that's these other elements. You can see we've got this one here, which is the actual arm element that you die cut from the same skin tone. And there's two that look like this, but one of them is a bit thicker, just a bit thicker. So that top one there is thinner, because that's the arm that you're going to stick on here, so she can have an arm on the other side if it's just a person on their own. But if you want them together like this, it makes more sense to not include the arm, so that's why I've put that there. The thicker one is a sleeve that goes over the arm, so that you've got the option again to turn it into a t-shirt, to have the sleeves rolled up, to have it as a vest. So it's just another way of making it as completely adaptable as possible. So I wonder if I've got my tweezers handy, because I could deal with them. Yes, I've got some here. So this one here, the smallest bit, is a nose. Now, I've seen people using it in different ways than I would, which is absolutely great. But you can see here the nose, for me, the way I use it, this is more of like that nose there that I'm pointing at. It's more of a kind of a high up, bit more, trying to think of a word that says it without it being offensive, but you know, like a more snub nose. I'm not being offensive here. What I'm saying is some people have long noses, some people have short noses, and it's all different ways to, in an illustrative way, to make it look like one or the other. This one is a shorter nose, and I love the fact that you can put it over the glasses. So if someone wears glasses and you can layer that up and put the nose over the glasses, it's a stylistic choice that really levels up the illustration. The other nose element is here. You okay?
Just bring you a drink.
Oh, thanks.
That's my drink.
Susie's popped in to give me a drink. And Larry is just shouting, "Da."
Say hello.
Hi.
Hello.
You say hello.
Say hello.
Hello.
No.
No.
Okay.
You're a failure. You're a failure, Larry.
And you're talking about noses.
Yeah.
Waiting for you to make the Roman nose comment.
Susie's. I told Susie. No, in fact, I never said that you had a Roman nose. I said. I don't know what I
To be
said.
fair, you've always said you like my nose, but then.
Yeah, I love Susie's nose.
But I don't like my nose. So I was very
Well,
offended.
You haven't got a Roman nose. Let me know. Someone
I'm
give
not
me
turning around.
someone in the comments, so that I don't get in trouble. You give me a description of what a Roman nose is, and then I'll see if that matches up with my thinking of what one is. But I never said that Susie had one. Susie's got a perfect nose.
I just always thought it was like a negative thing, but then I googled it and it wasn't. They were actually nice noses.
Yeah,
So
well, I mean,
I
yeah,
might
that's
have
why.
to beat my own words.
Yeah. Okay.
Say bye.
Aww. Okay, so I've taken the wrong bit. I took the bit off the men's nose there. But this, if you had a, so this is a longer nose, and this bit is quite handy because let me angle this upwards here. It's basically the face as I want it there, because you've got the die cut elements to include the eyes and the mouth in this style. That's what this is here. Let me put it behind the white so you can see it a bit better. That's what that is. I just find it easier to draw them in because it's such a small, delicate bit, and a black pen can make them even more defined. But saying that, there's nothing wrong with sticking them on. Let me show you. In here, I've got an example stuck on one. Oh, here it is. So this one here is where we've stuck the eyes and mouth on. I would probably be more inclined to do the mouth in, say, pink card or red card to make it less prominent on the face, but there's nothing wrong with doing that. I just really like the look of drawing them in. And there we go. There's a man with the shorter nose type. And there I've drawn in the eyes in a different way, which I've seen people do. But can you see what looks like it's the eyebrows on here, on this element? It's not, they're not eyebrows, but you can use them as eyebrows. So it's sort of the best of both worlds. What that shape is actually a die cut of this style of eye. instead of the open eye. Because, and then obviously there's the mouth element underneath, which you can turn upside down if you want it. You can make them have different facial expressions by doing that. But one thing you can do as well, now watch this. So this guy is obviously really happy. Let me find very quickly a pen. I've got it in here. A thin pen. Now, he's obviously like, he just looks mega happy there. And then if I draw eyebrows in, I can completely change his emotions. Now, what if I did the eyebrows like this? Sort of angry eyebrows. Now, he looks like he's doing like a wicked laugh. He looks more like he's going like... like that. See what I mean? That's how you can change these faces up so easily. I just love it. Okay, let's carry on with these bits, and I'll try not to lose them. Uh-oh. I might have lost the little nose. No, I haven't. I put it in the men's set. Do not lose this little nose. But if you do, there is a spare, a sort of... There's one in the men's set that is not on its own. Pretty sure. Oh yeah, there is. That's very similar. But don't lose this. Don't lose this little nose. Keep it on a magnetic sheet or something. It's very easy to lose. That's the one bad thing about these. Okay. Carrying on. We've got this element here. That is a ponytail. And the reason it's separate like that, rather than being on one of the hairstyles, if you look at how this is layered up behind, that ponytail could be much further down for a completely different style. It could be at the top of the head there, which makes it, you know, like an 80s sort of style. Let me move this. And this lady here has been made using one of the men's noses, so you can start to see how things are, you know, changeable, interchangeable between sets. We have this element here. Can we see this? The one that I'm moving around here. Now that could be confusing. What that is, I layer my die sets up so that you can include the shading as well. Much like if anyone's used Tim Holtz Colorize, it's like that. I like to include those aspects because I think that, again, they level up any composition. If you include shading in something, it's going to add a bit of maturity to it. You could leave it out as a stylistic choice, and that's absolutely fine, but that's just my preference, I guess. But that looks like this. So this lady here has been layered up under her hair, but that's that piece on the side of the head there, and it's meant to be shading, okay? Because and it's the same on the, it's going to be the same side on the men's set as well. Everything is all the shading, because we've got shading over there on the lady's sort of torso. If the sun was coming down from this direction, like this, the shading's all going to be on that side, but it's the same on the men as well. And that means when you put everyone together, the shading is always going to be on this side, which means the light source is coming from this direction. And that will be the same on every set. It's the same way that I shade my stamps in. I always do the shading on this side. It's just a kind of one size fits all. I don't have to think about it, and it's done for me already in my head. So no, that comes from like a wedding painting perspective. It's a speed thing. And if you look here, there's the shading on the men's head on this little, well, this kind of angry, happy, angry, lunatic guy. It's there on him as well. So the shading's there. So that's that bit. Let me just have a look at the comments. I might sign up for Panto, Gillian Baxter. I was very impressed with my evil laugh. Let's have a look. Angie B says, I love the illustrative feel of the different colour of the legs. Thank you very much. But again, you don't have to do it. You could just shade them in the same way as I've shaded the face, but that's how I do it. Call on Josh. I've supported since pretty early on present. My hair, please. And make those wheelchair stamps. Well, I agree completely. It's in the making. And then we do have the wheelchairs in the style too for now, but I'll be getting to those, so don't you worry, Hannah. And also, there are ways of doing bigger hair, so we'll have a look at it. Even if you could just cut it out, and I'll show you how to do that. But I've got you covered at some point. I have to do one thing at a time. Will you be doing shorter leg dyes, or how can you make them look shorter? Well, I guess the answer to that would just be to snip the body, move the legs up and stick at the moment. But I'm going to be doing children and sort of teen style, so there will be different body sizes in there. Upturned nose, Josh. So that's from Angie B as well. That would be a case of upturning the nose. Turned up like mine. Wait, is this people describing what a Roman nose is? I'm pretty sure. I think it's the opposite of an upturned nose, isn't it? In my eye. So Jillian back to, oh no, so that was before that. Let's have a look. What's a Roman nose? A Roman nose, someone said it's a straight nose. Julius Caesar. Yeah, that's he's straight, just like a Roman roads. Clutch cargo. I'll have to have a look at that, Mama X. So can you explain the feet elements, please? That's Paul Morgan Brown, of course. So the feet element, have a look at this. So we've got these two bits here. Where are they? So there's this one and this one. And I appreciate all these questions as well, because again, you know, like Colorize, Tim Holtz Colorize, it's you have to sometimes look at the imagery to go, right, that's how I do this. But you can't see the feet on the packaging. So that could be something that I could change in the future. Here's the feet elements. So what you do is I tend to build the legs up as they are, because I like everything being sort of almost anatomically correct underneath. Then I will cut this element, which is just the shape of both of the feet, like this. Then you cut the separate foot element, and you're going to place that on top and like this. So imagine that was just the first one, this one, and you place that one over it. So what that does is, again, it's that layer. And so if I turn this, you should be able to see that the feet are in two different bits. Oh, there we go, yeah. So can you see that? It's one bit layered up and then another bit layered directly over it to give dimension. And that's how we distinguish that it's 2 feet. So I hope that helps. Okay, I just put those shoes, both of them, back on the men's set. There we are. Yeah, I guess the rule is try your best to keep them separate. If not, then a good idea Susie showed me, someone has written down, taken a picture and written down everywhere that everything goes. I think that's, so the hairstyles, now look at all these different hairstyles, and if you look on my social media at the different hairstyles you can have, there are an incredible amount of different options, because you can combine them, you can use each one in a different way to have it your way. So you can have long hair behind the shoulders with a fringe. You can have long hair behind the shoulders with up, like someone's wearing a hairband. And that's if you used, let's find it, this element here. So that element there is a hair element. We'll put one together in a minute if we can. if we've got time. So that hair element there is this one that this lady's got. But if you put the long hair behind it, then you've got the hair back and down. It was quite a feat for me. I mean, I'm quite proud of the fact that even though I'm a stupid boy, I don't know about different hairstyles really. As is our male privilege, is we pretty much short back and sides across the board. Although I do think that is really boring. I remember once walking, I was walking along in assembly in school, and for the Americans, I don't know if you had assembly, but that's just when everyone assembles and they talk to you or like read, I don't know, the Bible or something to you. I remember walking along and I was looking, thinking like, I wish there were way more options for hair for men or for boys, because loads of the girls had them in like plaits or up in a bun or a high pony or a low pony or a fringe or not. And lads, it was like short back and sides. Otherwise, you're going to get beaten up after school. I don't know if that was the same everywhere, but it was in my school because I went to school in a rough school. What else have we got? So we've got glasses, the shading. I think we might have covered most things. This is the shading that goes on the lady's torso there. So that's this element here. That is that there. So that's how we use that. You just cut it from a slightly darker shade of the same colour that you're using. Is this useful? I'm hoping that I'm answering the questions in a good way, because in a minute we will... let me see, how long have we got left? So we're 36 minutes in, we've only got 20 minutes. I will put someone together in a sec. Can we have a close-up of angry eyebrow man? Of course you can, Rachel. He's not angry. He's made up because he's just thought of a way to foil someone's plans, and he's well made up about it. Rachel says, what stamps are coming out next? Well, the things that I've divulged, and so this was one thing that basically I got a slap on the wrist at Creative World in Frankfurt, because all the other companies were like, you need to not tell everyone what you're coming out with. So lap it up while you can, basically, because I'm gonna still until I can't anymore, because it seems like when businesses get a little bit bigger, you can't do that because of certain, I don't know, production reasons or whatever. Anyway, the things that I've already told people about, so I can't get in trouble with Susie, are we have a home interior set, which is a couch with people. It's a people set, but the bodies are people sat at on the couch, you know, with their sort of feet up on the couch. So it's like in almost like a fetal position. There's a man and a lady. You can use the heads from all the other sets, and there's a sofa that you can build around them. There are windows. There is a set of drawers that you can also turn into a set of shelves, because you can take the knobs off the drawers and then put books in there instead. There's like a lamp, a rug, anyway, and a plant and things like that. It's like home interiors with a couch. I've got a sort of a skyscrapery park set, which is half designed. I've got my on the move set, which is going to be electric wheelchair, a motor, you know, the little like motorized scooter thing, bicycle, and maybe another kind of mode of transport if I can think of one. But that's in the making as well. And I'm going to be doing a lot more stamp releases. I know that I've been focusing on the dies recently, I wanted to get them out there while they were fresh. They're in my head. It was, you know, something that I was really, really excited about. So I just needed that out in the world. I will be focusing more on the brand because I know there's still sets people would like in terms of beyond stamping. So I'm going to be coming out with a lot more sets very soon. Okay. Oh, I just dropped a die. Now let me put together a person. I'm going to show you. I'm going to move these guys on the table here. We've got space here. I've got my die cutting machine here. I hope Denzel doesn't mind me. He might be wincing at me using the Sizzix machine because I know Denzel works for Spellbinders, and they've also got a really fantastic machine. So I apologise. Okay, let's build up a lady because that's the more complicated one. The men's one is quite straightforward. Oh, so this one on the men, that one is the curly hair at the side by the ear, which is this part here. Let me show you. So this part here, I'll just build it up. That part there. This is this part here. Hopefully you can see that. There's two beards. This part here, that people might not know what it is, that is the shadow on the neck. You don't have to include every part, remember. It's just there in case you wanted it. On this guy, I painted the shadow on there, but I did use the shading for the side of the head there. Then we've got the sleeve. We've got the other arm, same as the other set. Eyes and shorter nose. Other eyes and longer nose. Hair, face shade. I think that one's a bit more self-explanatory. So let's build up a lady. We have 45 minutes to get this done. Now, let's have a look. Joshua, stop talking. Let's see. Anything in trouble when you use a full name? Right, let's have a look. Spellbinders tend to do that for all their sets with lots of little dies, and it's a godsend. So what's that? I can't. I'm not. So where is it? I'm trying to find the comment. Could you do a key of what the pieces are? Yes, I will do that. Mother Goose Bakery, Hannah. I will do that for you. It's a really great idea, and we'll get it sorted for you as soon as possible. So, well, that makes everything I've just said redundant. I'm only joking. Right, so I'm going to use these pieces that I've got cut. This is going to be some with a darker skin tone. Oh, that's a man's body. I don't want a man's body on with a woman's head. Here's a woman's body. Right, let's build one together now. Here we go. So let's build up the face first. So I'm going to die cut from here. I'm going to draw the eyes in, but I could stick them on. I will cut this shading out from brown cardstock. I'm going to find some now. I've got some just behind me. Oh, no, I haven't. Can we get some? I am actually very organised with cardstock. It's the one thing where I have managed to get organised. It's just here. I know it's here somewhere. I am very organised. So stop saying I'm not. There's a bit. Right. And I'm very, very conscious of waste as well. I won't waste anything. And we'll try and do an Afro style haircut for our very own Hannah Gosling. Now let's get these out of here. Just going to cut that little bit. Is there anything else I need to cut? Well, I'll cut the little nose as well. So here's my little nose. I'm going to cut that. I'll make sure to put it on as well. But thanks for that, Hannah, because that is a really good suggestion. I will do that. And I'll get it on our website. So because also it might give people a bit more confidence when they're buying, that they'll know exactly what they're doing with it. Okay, there we go. I'm going to cut these. And then I'm not going to stick on the nose yet because I want to show you how I do the glasses. Now here's another little trick. First, let me get these back on here before they go missing. I've done very well so far. I've not had to open any of the other sets. I'm still using my little sample set. Does anyone else do this? Because I've got big fat man hands, I can't pick these up, so I just rely on the fact that my finger's going to be a bit sticky. I know you can get little things that do that. So one little bit of advice, if I can find it. So a paper sculpting kit. If you just take one of the little ball rollers off any paper sculpting kit, and if you've cut something and you can see one of the the pokey hole marks, I'm sure you already know this, just push it back in with a paper roller. Or something that I love doing is find a like cleaner part of one of your plates in your die cutting machine. When I say cleaner, that doesn't have the scratches on it, and then roll the bits through, because it gets rid of any of the, it flattens them all out and makes them a bit less, it's less 3D, but in a good way. Use some of my glue. I'm using Maisie's glue today because all my glue got robbed, and I think they probably know the term robbed in the US. Stolen. Here we go. So there's the shade. Do you know what? The glue is actually really good because Maisie's glue, because it's not dead strong glue. And what happens is you put it down. It's this glue here, just liquid glue pen. Just a nondescript liquid glue pen. I don't even know if it has a brand, but you can still move it around when it's glued down for a little bit, and then now it's stuck. Right, let me cut some glasses. The glasses I'm going to do, I don't know why, my favourite colour at the minute to cut glasses out from is a deep red colour, like a Christmassy red. I just think I think I'm thinking from an illustrative point of view. Let's take some of the glasses, cut these out. I don't need anything else red cut in. So, so I can stick my glasses on now, because any hair that I do is going to go over the glasses. You don't have to, you can put the glasses, depends how you wear your glasses really. The fact you can layer it up is amazing. You can put them higher up, further down, and that's going to change the shape of the face. So here's what we're looking like so far. Another cool thing that you can do, so that's what we're looking like so far. You could even stop there. Some people, as a stylistic choice, will leave facial features off. When that's like, I'm thinking in terms of, wedding illustration and stuff. A lot of them are done with no facial features. Now let's see how this goes. Now, yeah, the other cool thing you can do is if you cut these parts that are coming out of the glasses from black, you can turn them into sunglasses by sticking them back in like this, only they're black. Maybe I'll do that actually. Maybe I'll do that now to show you. Got a little bit of black card, and it's not a hard thing to do. Let's do it. I don't have too much longer left, and Susie, bless her, has had the children a lot more than me today, because I have been working on a very, very top secret project that I'm not going to tell everyone about in a minute. No, I'm actually not, but I am going to just tease that something exciting is happening, and I'm very excited by it. We're just working out some finer details, and it's mega. So that's all you're getting from me. Yep, sticking those back in there Jamie then. Sticking these in there. To create sunglasses. There we go. So yeah, that's cool. We can create sunglasses like this. You can even do a little white streak across them, which would turn them shiny. Now, hair. So how are we going to do this afro style of haircut? Now, here's how I'm going to approach it. I'm going to find the men's set first, and then I'm going to cut from black as much of the this hairstyle and the one that goes over the ears, like this, and just bear with me, I'm not giving her a beard, but I'm cutting the beard because this little shape where the mouth is supposed to go, that's within the beard, is actually a really nice addition to this because of the shape of it. So let's start with those, see whether we can't help Amanda out for now before I bring out a set that has afro hair, because I will one day. It won't be too far away, because as we know, with Beyond Stamping, one of my main things is making sure that everybody feels included as much as possible. And luckily, we've got this amazing, really understanding community that knows that, you know, sometimes it takes a bit longer to get the ball rolling with manufacture of certain things. So it's not a case of me leaving people out. It's a case of me, right, I hadn't thought of this, hadn't thought of that, so I put it into practice. It just might take a little bit longer. So just getting all the bits together, and then this last part here. And I'll have a look at the comments in a sec. So the first thing, I'm going to also cut this. I'm going to double cut this hairstyle, the curly hairstyle. I'm going to double cut it. What I mean by that is I'm cutting through 2 pieces of cardstock, because as well as cutting through it, it also sort of eradicates some of the detail in it, like, I mean, the unwanted detail, like pokey hole marks and things like that. I just saw a comment out the corner of my eye about sellotape in my mouth, and I'm not going to point fingers. I don't even know who it was because it's gone now. But whoever it is, I'm going to find you. No, not really. Right. So, we have these sets here. Now, if this doesn't work, then my advice would be, is going to be to cut it out yourself. But I want to make sure that it doesn't work first. Let's see how this goes. Now, let me find... Have I got... Oh, my phone's on there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just get a picture up so I know. Okay. Well, on this, the hairstyle covers the ears. So let's see what we can do. First thing I'm going to do is play around with the background. So, I mean, already we're getting somewhere. So what needs to happen after that is the side bit to go on, or for it to cover, because obviously I'm not going to make them bald, but I might have to adapt a bit. let's see what we can do. Right, I'm going to stick these bits on first anyway. Like this. So first it's going to be this bit. And then obviously you can control how high the hairstyle is going to come off the head. Then I can pick that up. I can add a bit more glue here. And then I want it to come right round. In fact, I want it to come right round under the ear. So I might have to add another bit. Oh, I did it before. Maybe if I flip it round, is that going to work? Yeah. There we go. Right. So it comes out. It comes under the ear now. So now we're dealing with the hair in the foreground. Let me draw a mouth on first. Oh, we haven't put the nose on. Oh, there's the nose. Right, the nose goes over the sunglasses. Where are we at with time? Got 4 minutes. But hopefully this has already been a bit helpful. Oh, I'm using a lot of glue today. I'm not normally this cavalier with my glue use. But look, the effect it has putting the nose over the glasses there. What it does is it shows, if I can actually get it on, it shows like intent. Oh, hair's come off. So it looks more intentional then. Don't worry, I can do this. And then the front of the hairstyle, that's what we're worrying about now. So let me get my scissors. Put you in here. So how's this going to work now? Do you know what? It might just work. I might not have to cut it. Oh, nearly. So I will have to cut it a bit. So I'm putting that hair over here like this. Get a bit of glue on there. And then, sorry, am I off camera or something? Because I just realised I'm not looking at the camera. Let me move back onto Facebook. Where are you? Oh. Am I on the wrong one? Sorry, everybody. Oh, I was looking for Facebook, that's why. So let's have a look. Where are we? So, and then you've got this part left. That's what I cut off. That you can use to go over the ear there, or you can turn it around like this. Uh-oh. I think Maisie's woken up. Okay, I'm going to stick that part down there. And then at the moment, I'm hoping... So Hannah, can you tell me if this helps for now? I mean, I don't think it's a bad job. Quite pleased. But obviously, the aim is going to be for everybody to be able to create whoever. But it's always going to come down to there being more sets. Like this. Now I can draw in the mouth. glue isn't as good as I started ranting on about earlier. You have to use enough of it. Did everyone hear that? Maisie, not Susie. Maisie just shouting, can someone come and wipe my bum because I've done a poo? She saves it for the lives. I'm pretty sure she just saves it precisely for the lives. Let's have a look. I'm going to draw the mouth on. Like this. And there we are. Let me put this on here. Okay. So that was my plan anyway. My other plan would have been to cut a circle, put it behind the head, and then use a bit of scissor technique or use crimped scissors or scallop edge scissors. Is that what they're called? Which would have worked. Or we just wait, and I 100% promise to release a set that you can do and easily do an afro haircut with. But I want to hear what Mother Goose says, because that is going to be the definitive. Is it acceptable for the moment, and can you work with it is my question. Let me put a jumper on this poor woman. And I've used the darker card sort of by mistake, so that means I can't add the shading on the person, but we'll I'll just put a jumper on her, and then maybe off camera later, because I'm aware of the time, I will give her some trousers. There we are. Yeah, so let me angle us back up. Right, so what I can defo work with it. And my poor paper me is very naked. Oh, I'm sorry, Hannah. Did I call you Amanda? I'm so sorry.
I was just going to tell you that you needed to make a public apology.
I'm so sorry. I've done that before. And do you know what? I've called someone else Amanda before as well. I don't know. And that was at a workshop. It was Nikki, I think. Was it Nikki? Susie that I called Amanda last time?
Julie?
It was Julie. It was Julie. Yeah.
Did you call her Nikki because the last name? Oh no, you did.
No, I called her Amanda, yeah. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with Amanda, just so everyone knows. It's just that I don't know why that name sticks in my head. More than every other name. Let me... Oh God, my table's a bit messy now. So, now, this, the live kind of got away from me a little bit, but I'm really happy with what we've got to talk about, because dyes are a slower process than stamping. So it's always going to be the case. Oh, let me just... If we do lives on dyes, then it's always going to be, unless I really prep for it beforehand, it's always going to be a little bit slower pace than if we do a stamping video, because obviously stamps, the whole thing with them is bang, 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 and then you've got another person, and then I show you how to paint. I paint dead quick because I'm wedding illustrating, all that. Die cutting is a bit more, you take a bit more care with it, but I'm incredibly pleased with that. What I'm going to do just now is I'm going to die cut, before I go, just die cut a little skirt, show you how I would change the person. I haven't got a spare leg on here. Actually, I'm not. I won't do that because I don't have the time. But You can see a top half anyway. I'm not showing you the bottom half. It's a little bit rude. There we go. But that is my answer to doing a bit of an afro hairstyle. The nature of these dyes is, one, it is going to make you a better illustrator because we're thinking in terms of bold shapes to, as an answer to represent a certain style, certain things. We get to play about with facial features, making them higher, lower, playing about with putting hairstyles behind heads to give a more receded hairstyle, like this, like mine basically. I've got a far back hairline, but like this man here sort of looks a bit like me wearing glasses, and that's because we've used one of the sets behind the head and then a little bit from the beard in the front of the hair there to layer it up. But what happens when you layer up is you get this amazing effect, which is, you know, there's dimension to it and the light is doing what it's going to do, playing around, creating shadows, and there's depth to it then. And that's what I feel like we've achieved here. So I'm really, really pleased with that. Let's get this lady some trousers. And next week we're going to be back to stamping, because I'm aware that I've done quite a lot of die cutting shows. Next week I'm going to make it a big old stamping extravaganza. I'm going to do a really big scene, and it's going to be amazing. I've gone 6 minutes over my time budget. Let me have a very, very, very quick look at the what's it called? Comments. What's that? So I always want to see this because I don't get to read the comments once it's gone. But if you want to know any more questions, just add the questions in after when the video goes live on YouTube, because these comments disappear. But anyway, thanks guys. I will see you next week. Bye.